Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to the video. I hope your day is going great. Mine is, and we have a really fun video today. We're talking about more juice, more drama, and it all has to do with Gator and Scott. They're on a team that used to go by Fractal eSports. They're a pretty good open division / contenders trials team. They've always been really outspoken, and a lot of the community just didn't like them. And recently, they've come under fire for a lot of negative things like win trading, six stacking with their teammates to make ranked easier, flaming people in game, just a lot of toxic stuff. And then after all of these accusations, all this crap coming out of them being exposed, they did one of the dumbest things possible. Scott and Gator literally griefed and threw a game in front of multiple Overwatch pros on stream and everything. So we're going to be covering their whole situation, everything they've done. Should Blizzard take action on these players? And then after that, we're going to cover the games from yesterday. We had some really good ones, specifically that last set, the Houston Outlaws and San Francisco Shock. The Houston Outlaws are pretty much out of the Stage 4 playoff run. Philadelphia Fusion, they got their win. LA Gladiators, they got their win, so they're competing for that last spot. We'll cover it all at the end of the video. If you guys are new around here, do not forget to subscribe, like the video, enter the giveaway, guys. Today is the last day to enter. If you want to win an Overwatch League jersey, I'm giving 10 of them away. Click the gleam.io link down below. And that's basically it, guys. Let's go ahead and hop into this video. Alright, so let's go ahead and begin this video off by talking about Scott and Gator. Just for more background knowledge, they are part of a team that once went by Fractal eSports, now the GOATs. They competed in Contenders Trials last season. They did pretty good. They were one map away from qualifying into Contenders. And to be fair, a lot of people would agree that they were better than one of us and probably should have went into Contenders over them. And if they did, they would have performed better. And if you guys don't know who one of us is, that's what Bi-Week's name was when they competed in Contenders Trials last season. And a big reason why a lot of people think that Fractal eSports probably should have been in Contenders over them is because in the very first match of the entire Contenders Trials, Fractal eSports took on one of us. But Fractal was missing what many would consider their best player, Kaluj, who has hit rank 1 multiple times over the course of his career, albeit he has been accused of win trading, and legitimately there is proof of him just six stacking with his team to get a higher rank easier. But regardless, he still is a really good player, and the fact that they didn't have him in that match and had to use a random sub last minute definitely played a factor in them losing that match against one of us. Also, if you're wondering why Kaluj got banned, it was for boosting. For some reason, he thought it would be a bright idea to boost. Not smart at all, not a good thing to do, against the rules. And then for some reason he thought it would be a good idea to kind of brag about it on Twitter while he was competing in open division and Contenders Trials. So for that he received a few game suspension, and it really did play a factor in them not qualifying. So that's the history behind Scott and Gator's team. Now let's talk a little bit more about Gator and Scott specifically. So recently a YouTuber and player in Overwatch that goes by Samato FPS created a video titled "Exposing Top 10 Players for Win Trading, Rank 1 Cheating, Redescription." As he explained in the description, most of this video is him just memeing around, joking about the things that Scott and Gator have done / said. So this is a clip of Gator. So this is a clip of Scott in a game with Samato FPS. You can't hear what Samato is saying in this video, only Scott, which kind of works against Scott's favor. So the whole reason Samato made this video is because he had a personal experience with Scott in Ranked. And let's just go ahead and play this clip real quick of them meeting each other in Ranked. Oh, and disclaimer to anybody watching right now, what he says is pretty foul.
What is the name of your main account? What is the name of your main account? That's what the fuck I thought. You're a pussy little fuck that sits on a video game and you talk shit, but you can't back it the fuck up. You're not even standing in front of me. You're not even standing in front of me in person. I would fucking dropkick your fucking forehead if you saw me at a fucking TwitchCon. I will send you a fucking picture of me right now. When you see me at TwitchCon, walk up to me. That's what I want you to do. What's your Discord? What's your Discord? I will go to the next TwitchCon and I will ask for a head click. Shut your fucking mouth. That's what I thought. I will literally kill your parents. You understand me? Don't ever fucking talk to me again.
Okay, yeah, that was pretty bad from Scott. And real quick, I just want to say, I'm not defending Scott here, but it is a little bit sketchy and shady that the guy who recorded this, the player Samato FPS, cut out his own voice. Sure, he can say at the end of the day his recording didn't pick it up, but it's very clear that maybe he did egg on Scott just a little bit. That alone right there warrants a mute in game for at least like 2 weeks. I've seen players in Overwatch get silenced for much less than that. And the fact that he's playing for a team in Open Division and will likely be competing in Contenders Trials, he should know better than to say anything like this. And the fact that his team already got screwed over last Contenders Trials for a teammate getting banned, you'd think he'd be more smart about things he was saying. So quite literally, Scott is just an idiot. He is so stupid for saying this. Even if he got baited into it, even if Samato said things just as bad, a professional player should never say anything close to that. Even if he dropped it down like 50%, it would still be super bad. So this clip was one of the main reasons Samato made a video on this whole situation. Alright, so now that we all know Scott is pretty much out of control and can't control himself, has no filter at all, let's take a look at some of the other things he and Gator have been accused of doing. Let's start it off with this clip from Kefri's stream, where in his eyes he thinks he is exposing them for win trading, which I wouldn't say this is full on proof of them win trading, more so griefing and just not taking the game too seriously. Let's just roll the clip.
Attackers in 30 seconds.
Hey Chad, I'm gonna throw you a secret real quick. Since we're live in game, Gator and Scott are in the same voice channel right now. It's awfully fucking coincidental. Gator and Scott? Scott and Gator.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Alright, so Kefri is accusing them of win trading because they're in the same Discord and on opposite teams within the same game, which obviously is not proof of anything. The main proof of them possibly win trading, or at the very least griefing, is the way they act in these games. Either they're flaming their teammates, or they're on a character like Bastion or Symmetra and clearly not trying their hardest. So to this day, there still is no full proof of them win trading, and I don't think there will ever be any proof of them unless evidence comes out from players that are actually involved in the win trading. But it is definitely believable that they could win trade. So far what we know, Scott's a complete idiot. Then Gator and Scott could potentially be win trading, and at the very least, they're probably griefing and throwing some games. Now guys, lastly, let's take a look at this newest video that just surfaced of Scott and Gator pretty much 100% throwing, griefing, just absolutely ruining games for other people. And this isn't just like an average game. There is a ton of professional players. We have Blase, Corey, and Rolf all from the LA Gladiators Legion. Then we have Elk from Philadelphia Fusion University. It's a very serious game. It's a pretty long clip, guys, but to understand the full situation, you have to watch the whole thing. Let's let it roll.
That doesn't eSports has so much shit going on right now with the one-trading acquisition and that clip of Scott 63. I don't know. That clip of players has always been really toxic, which is unlucky.
This seems questionable.
No. They all have big egos and they're really toxic.
Yeah, we're whatever.
I personally don't have any beef with them,
What
but
does Sim do?
I don't like how they act.
Wouldn't Moira be better?
Let's just follow Hansi.
See, no, they're already calling GG. We've already mentally killed them.
Oh, what the fuck? Wait.
See, this is why Sim is better.
That's on stream, my dude. That is on stream.
You think they're gonna treat it?
That's fucked up.
Like, it's okay.
That's actually throwing. That's actually hard throwing. Wait, they actually just left. Oh, wait, they're grouping. Okay, wait.
Oh, he's trolling.
No, he just left. He just left again.
Making it so his teammates can't leave.
Oh, they're trying to make us troll.
Wait, what?
They're gonna come back right before the game
We're
starts.
already trolling.
And, yeah. Yeah, we counter the strat. Oh, watch this. You're gonna trap a tank, and they're just gonna nope.
Just death by microwave.
Should I clip? Yeah, clip it, dude. Go for it.
I mean, it's intentionally leaving a game.
That's actually intentionally leaving. That's kind of fucked.
And they're both top 10, so like easy report. Or at least Gator was.
That's fucked up.
Was Gator actually top 10 somehow?
Rolf, yeah, Rolf, when they get 2 accounts something, they were win trading. Rolf, when they cross, I'm gonna boost you, okay?
Oh, they're rejoining.
They're back.
Yeah, they
Wait, I think they're joining in like. Don't troll, don't troll.
They're trying to make us troll.
We're not trolling.
Instead, Blaze's not hitting anything.
What? That's fucked up. Fuck you.
Wait, they're just Blase. They're just hiding.
They're still down one. They can't push. They don't have a player either. Like, what are they doing?
Yeah, they're joining and leaving so their teammates can't leave.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, that's super fucked. He's like, okay, guys, we got 30 seconds left. Dude.
I think he's there to call the timer for the other guy, right?
Yeah.
So Scott and Gator right now are leaving and rejoining, so the other team can't leave the game. That's actually fucked. Now they're trolling.
Yo, he went
Like,
bang.
someone put it on Reddit, honestly. That's actually fucked up.
I want some damage.
That's a new level of...
This is where Elk throws and they rejoin
Throw
in
in.
cap with 3 minutes left.
Fuck dead. Get back out, yeah.
Some damage boost out.
Sim's so low.
Just drop question marks, nothing else.
I'm dead.
Oh,
I
there
guess
we
they
go.
can leave the game now.
You
Great.
know it. That's would be hard suck plat. Dang.
Yo, I'm gonna kill this Junkrat when he
You want an achievement?
This is absolutely disgusting. And it's 100% undeniable proof of these guys throwing and griefing at not even like a normal level. That's like intense griefing. And I wouldn't doubt it that 100% those guys are on that team flaming every single player, making it an unbearable game to play, ruining the experience of Overwatch. We sit here and we complain about Season 10 and how it's so unfun to play, but this is the real type of behavior that is actually ruining and killing the game, guys. 100% Blizzard needs to take action on these guys. I expect serious punishments. And I'm not just saying this because I've gone through my beef with these guys too. That stuff was just for fun. I was just trying to create some excitement, potentially start something fun that everyone would enjoy. These guys, like, this is serious toxicness. They are ruining the game. No matter how much shit I've talked as a player, I've never done anything like this. I've never rage quit a game. Sure, I've got upset with my teammates before in ranked, but nothing even comparable to these guys. They're just cancer to the community, 100%. And to be honest, when I started that whole beef thing with them, I had no idea they were actually like this. I just thought they were trash talkers, and they didn't really give a shit about what other people thought or said, similar to me, but these guys are just dicks, man. Seriously. I would be absolutely surprised and just completely appalled if these guys were competing in trials next season. So now we wait for Blizzard to respond, and that's basically it for the subject. Let me know, guys, what you think about this whole thing. Do you think they should be banned? What consequences do they deserve? And that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and move on to the next topic for the video, which was the games from yesterday, and we're mainly going to break down where the standings are now and who still has a chance to make the playoffs for this stage and overall playoffs. Alright, and starting off with the Dallas Fuel Philadelphia Fusion set. And despite it being a match with Dallas Fuel, it meant a lot. The Philadelphia Fusion needed to win this, and they needed to win with a good scoreline to put themselves in a position where they could catch up to the LA Gladiators or LA Valiant and move on to the playoffs for Stage 3. Of course, overall, it's big for the standings too, because we've talked about that bubble. The teams from 4th place all the way down to 8th place, extremely close. Everyone needs to go on a winning streak. If you don't, you're more than likely going to miss out on the playoffs. So it's very dangerous. You cannot afford to slip up against the Dallas Fuel. And the Philadelphia Fusion, they came out firing. They had really strong gameplay on Anubis and Nubani. Straight first holds. Dallas Fuel couldn't get anything done. And it was a quick lead for Philadelphia Fusion in the series, 2-0. Which was expected because Dallas Fuel, they didn't have their star player effect. Obviously the team's going through inner turmoil, and it's just, Dallas Fuel's been a mess for a long time. But what was surprising, in this very last 2 maps, Dallas Fuel put up a good fight. Nepal went all the way to the very last round. It was pretty damn close. And then moving on to the last map, Junkertown, Dallas Fuel actually picked it up. And this could be the one map that literally decides whether or not Philadelphia Fusion moves on for the playoffs in Stage 3 or the overall playoffs. That's what's so crazy about this. Literally, one map is going to be the difference, guys. For them, right now, so far, a 3-1 victory is enough to stay alive for the Stage 3 playoffs. If we look at the standings right now, they're currently sitting at 5-4 with +2 on their map difference. And then if we take a look at the Gladiators, they're sitting at 6-3 +8. So Philadelphia Fusion, if they got a 4-0, they could have been only +5 behind, but now they're +6 behind. So that set really wasn't that interesting though. Let's move on and talk about the Los Angeles Gladiators set versus the Florida Mayhem. Now this one was a lot closer than that first Dallas Fuel set, even though Florida Mayhem didn't win a map. It was all over the place, and they were in a position where they could have won at least 1, maybe 2 of them. Start off in Anubis, it was a straight draw. Moved on to Nubani, it was close back and forth. LA Gladiators pulled in front, and that just happened in Nepal and Junkertown, giving the LA Gladiators a 3-0 victory, which it was crucial that they got those 3 maps, because if they would have lost one of them, could have been danger for them, because if not going 3-0, it would have been a 2-1. If they went 2-1, they would have been sitting at +6, guys, and +6 would have been very dangerous. only +4 away from Philadelphia Fusion, and when you have the Boston Uprising coming next, you're going to lose a lot of those maps. And Philadelphia Fusion, they have a good chance to beat the Valiant. It'd be scary. So it was crucial that they got that 3-0 victory and it wasn't a 2-1. So LA Gladiators doing what they need to do to stay in a really good spot and still leaving it in their own hands. Then moving on to the very last set, we had Houston Outlaws, San Francisco Shock. And this was a thriller, definitely the best set of the night, and it just meant so much to these teams. You could tell that they both wanted to win so bad, especially the San Francisco Shock. Even though it was more important overall for the Outlaws, San Francisco wanted to win. They want to prove themselves, even if they're completely out of the Stage 3 playoffs, and if they go 10-0, which is unlikely, I don't even know if they'll make the overall playoffs. They're still putting up a fight, and I'm hella proud of them for that. As for the Outlaws, man, this match was so big for them. If they win it, they have a chance to make the Stage 3 playoffs. If they win it, they put themselves in a better position to make the overall playoffs. And them losing it, oh man, it's so tough. Because now looking at the overall standings, when they were just 3 games, a week and a half ago, guys, the Houston Outlaws were 3 games ahead of the Los Angeles Gladiators in the overall standings. Tied for 6th, tied for 5th, looking really good to make it. But now, I don't know. LA Gladiators look better than the Houston Outlaws recently. So did the LA Valiant, so did the Philadelphia Fusion. I really don't see the Houston Outlaws making the playoffs, boys. Unless they have a great run in this next meta and next stage, I just don't see it happening. This is their meta coming up. It's going to be a lot of tanks. It's going to be a lot of Junkrat, a lot of Widowmaker. That's what they've thrived at. So Overwatch has literally threw them a bone and said, hey, listen, this is it for you guys. We're setting the game up perfectly for you, but if you can't pull the trigger and win, there's nothing else we can do for you. We can't feed you. You're going to have to do it yourself. And I just don't know, man. I don't know. It's going to be tough for the Outlaws. It was a really hard map pull for them as well. I said this leading up to the match. That's why I went with the San Francisco Shock. Volskaya, Houston Outlaws were able to pull it out, but that was a 50-50. Numbani. Houston Outlaws have been horrible at this. They literally had to pull out that freaking Torbjorn strat against the LA Gladiators and attempt to try to win it. That's when you know it's bad, when you're trying to run a Torb. On attack. Freaking attack. Then we had Nepal, which was probably their best map out of these 5 and the only one that they were decent at. Moving on to Route 66, they've won it 1 time ever. Their worst map overall. And then lastly, Oasis, which they've been okay on, but San Francisco Shock, Architecty looked amazing on Farah. They took it, so that was that. Now let's move on to the Stage 3 standings and analyze this real quick so you guys know who has the best chance to make it to the playoffs and what's coming up. So the LA Valiant, they're still sitting pretty. It's going to be very hard for them to miss out on the playoffs. All they have to do is secure 1 map against the Philadelphia Fusion and they're 100% in. But still, there is that slight chance if they go 0-8 in maps this week that they do miss out if the Philadelphia Fusion 4-0 them. Because that means the Philadelphia Fusion would have 4-0'd them, putting them at +6. And if LA Valiant goes 0-8, then they're sitting at +5. And if Gladiators win a map against the Boston Uprising, that would put them at +6. So they're not in the clear yet. They have to secure a map this week. If they secure a map, they're in. If they don't, they might be out. Now moving on to the Gladiators. They have a huge match coming up against Boston Uprising where they need to secure a map as well. If they don't, then they're in danger of not qualifying either. Because if they lose 4-0, that's going to bring them all the way down to +4. And if the Philadelphia Fusion end up beating the Valiant 3-1, that's going to put the Philadelphia Fusion in a tie with the LA Gladiators. And if there's a tie, you never know what's going to happen. And if the Philadelphia Fusion somehow 4-0 the LA Valiant, then Gladiators are completely out. So Gladiators really need to make sure they win at least 1 map, if not 2, to ensure that they qualify. So it's a tight race with all these teams. It's going to be a very exciting week, especially that last matchup, the Philadelphia Fusion taking on LA Valiant. I absolutely cannot wait. Let me know down below what you guys think, who is going to make it. Right now, I got my money on LA Gladiators and LA Valiant. And that's pretty much it for the video, guys. If you're new around here, don't forget, click the subscribe button, like the video, enter the giveaway. It's your last chance. And I'm out of here for today, guys. Peace.